So, recently I moved, and like everyone who moves, I had a lot of boxes. I bought some new stuff, so I had those boxes. And I also had my old stuff, clothes, everything. So I had those boxes too. And after I unpacked everything and put things into cabinets, I was just left with a lot of empty boxes. And then it was a decision making time. Do I keep them or do I throw them out? And I realized this is actually part of adult life. At some point, you have to make this decision. Are you the kind of person who keeps boxes just in case, or are you the kind of person who throws everything out? So I thought, since I just went through this, I can actually walk you through the decision-making process. I'm going to talk about both sides, the pros and cons of keeping boxes and packaging versus throwing them out. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I personally did. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about the pros of throwing everything out. The most obvious one, space. If you throw everything out, you don't have to store them, which means less clutter, less dust, and more space for your actual stuff. You just get rid of it. It's simple. But beyond that, I feel like this is also a decision-making thing. Keeping boxes to me feels a bit avoidant. It's like you don't want to face the question, am I actually going to need this later? Am I going to use these boxes? So instead of deciding, you just keep them. But when you choose to throw them out, you're not just cleaning your space, you're also cleaning your mind. You're making a decision and moving on. Another thing is attachment. I feel like when you keep boxes, the item still feels new. It still has that value attached to it. It's like you're telling yourself this is still temporary. But when you throw the boxes out, it's like, okay, this is mine now. It's part of my home, part of my life. I'm using it. It's not new anymore. And in a way, that reduces your attachment to the object, which is actually, I think, it's a good thing. Also, practically speaking, it's just easier to clean and maintain your space without boxes. Boxes collect dust. They take up awkward space, and they make everything more complicated. Another point, and this one is subtle, but when you keep the box, you keep the return conversation open in your head. Like you buy a vacuum cleaner or set of pots, and as long as you have the box, you're like, maybe I should return this. Maybe I don't need it. But honestly, the decision should have been made when you bought it. Keeping the box just keeps that mental loop open, and it's not necessarily helpful. And also, let's be honest, when people say, I'll keep it for now and throw it out later, when is later? Most of the time, you don't do it. And even if you do, you have to go through the same decision making and the same effort again. So you're just delaying the work. So yeah, these are the main pros of throwing everything out. Now, let's talk about the cons. The first one is obvious, return and exchange. For some items, especially electronics, you need the original packaging to return or exchange them. If you don't have it, you lose that option. If you move again and you never really know, having the original boxes makes things much easier and safer. Things fit perfectly, they're protected, and the process is much smoother. For some items, having the original box can increase the value. I don't know how true that is today in every case, but especially before, it definitely made a difference for things like electronics or certain higher-end items. Another very real con, especially in North America, is that throwing boxes out is actually a lot of work. You have to break them down, cut them, fit them into recycling rules. It's not just throw it out, it takes a lot of efforts. And on the top of that, there is the emotional part. What if I need this? It was expensive. Maybe I should keep it. And I also notice people treat expensive items differently. The more expensive something is, the more likely you are to keep the box. And then there is short-term regret. Right after you throw something out, you might think, what if I want to return this? What if I move? What if I want to sell it? You can't be 100% sure, and that uncertainty is uncomfortable. And at some point, I realized this is not really about boxes. It's about how you deal with uncertainty. It's about decision making. It's about scarcity mindset versus control. When you throw boxes out, you're choosing to live with uncertainty. When you keep them, you're choosing to hold on to just in case, but at the cost of space, effort, and mental clutter. And even if you try to be strategic, like I'll keep only the expensive ones, that's another layer of decision. Like now you have to decide what qualifies, what doesn't, what might be hard to move, what might be worth selling. It's just get more complicated. So, what did I do? If you know me even a little bit, if you've watched my videos before, you probably already know the answer. I throw everything out. I don't regret it at all. For me, that was the right decision. But I'm curious, what would you do? Would you keep the boxes or would you throw them out? Let me know in the comment section. See you in the next one.